For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, says the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you a future and a hope.
So Bree, tell us about all of your different podcasts that are going on. I want to hear about each one and how they came to be.
Well, that is a good question. I'm trying to think where to start because it's been basically 6 years in the making. I mean, we started fasting 6 years ago. It's been a long journey to where we are now through several iterations of this fasting business and just a lot of training and preparation and a lot of fasting, a lot of prayer. And we've taken several, hiatus breaks. What's the word? Sabbatical, where God was retraining us and refocusing us on different things. And anyway, we started the first Kingdom Fasting podcast, Fasting Food Faith, a year ago, and we just had our 50th episode, where we talk about fasting, food, and faith, nutrition, how to fast, all the basics, biblical fasting, all kinds of fun things that are in the Bible, just a sort of weekly encouragement for your fasting, health, and faith journey. And more recently, God started speaking to us about releasing more into the world. And we've both been working on writing some books and really just focusing on our intimacy with God and really developing our relationship with Him individually and in our marriage. And he started talking to us about these new podcasts a few months ago. And so then recently he was like, okay, it's time to launch. Just like do it next week. And we were just like, whoa, okay, really? Like right now? And he was like, yep, which is a really good thing. Because if you know me, I stress about stuff that's coming up. Like I'm worried about the future all the time. That's one of my big faults. And God knew, it's hard. All that trust and faith and resting in Him and having peace in the middle of, whatever is coming next. And so I don't know if anyone else struggles with that, just sort of anxiety about the future, which he's training me out of that. We're working on it. I'm a work in progress. But it went really well just releasing both the new podcasts. Sam's is the Modern 40-Day Fast. And it's a podcast where he's walking through day by day a 40-day fast with 4 individuals specifically. And then another person who's actually fasting over the podcast. We just did an interview with them during their fast. And anyway, just a really neat new something out there to support people if they choose to do a longer fast, whether it's 3 days or 7 days or 21 days or 40 days. All of that information and encouragement will be out there, just all the biblical and scientific stuff. And my podcast is a daily one, just a couple of minutes long, just a quick message from God's heart to His children. And he's been sharing messages with me for a long time, over 3 years. And after a long fast that I did at the beginning of the year, he started sharing them with me every single day and then asked me to start sharing them. And so that's what I've been doing. And it's interesting because I'll go back and listen to the episode, even though it's only been out for a week, and I'll be like, oh, that actually applies to me today, right now, because there's so many messages and he tells me exactly which one to read and to record and what day to post it and all the different things. So I don't have all of that stored in my brain. Like God knows all of that, And so when I go back and listen to it, I'm like, oh, it feels like a fresh message for me too, And so it's been kind of fun to hear those and have that out there. So yeah, they're really about encouraging people in their intimacy with God, encouraging them to be closer to Him, to hear what He has to say, to dig into His word, to fast and to pray, and to find out what He has for their lives and His plan for them, and just His love and the transforming power of His presence in our lives, and how much He longs to care for His children. So So that's really what they're all about, is really just pointing people to God and encouraging their intimacy with him. So that is what's going on with Kingdom Fasting. So yeah, it's been exciting and fun, and he's really just done everything and just given us really specific instructions, which is exactly what my heart needs. Just in leaving all of it in his hands, so that I don't have to stress about things or have anxiety about things. So that has been refreshing in these new endeavors, is just leaving it in his hands and just letting him go with it. So
I will plug you because I listened to your little tidbit. I like it's very bite sized. I loved it, and I listened to it today, and it was spot on what I needed. So thank you.
awesome.
Thank you for doing that and being obedient.
It's been fun.
Is it on YouTube as well?
Not my podcast, because it's just about God's words, so there's no video. It's just on podcast platforms and on our website, obviously. But yeah, just audio. Sam's is on YouTube on our channel, the Kingdom Fasting YouTube channel. All of our podcasts are on there. Fasting, Food, Faith, and the Modern 40-Day Fast will both be on there.
Okay. Yeah. We'll link all of this below. Make sure that they're all there for people to consume, because it's amazing. It really is. And then you can share also, because I plan on doing that. I have like several women in my mind that need to hear this. So we'll get a lot from it.
So what's going on with your business, Sheri?
I think that I've been saying yes. All year long, that's been kind of been my theory of saying yes. So because I said yes, but at the end of January, I did for the Christian Chamber locally, they have Fellowship Friday, and I got to host with two other women. We had a financial coach, a business coach, and then me as a health coach, providing information for the people at the Fellowship Friday. And because I said yes to that, I started working with the business coach that spoke with us. And shortly after that, she mentioned that she was doing something, a group for her business and coaching. And so I, wanted to find out more about it and asked her about it. And it was 14 weeks long. And I'm like, whoa, that's every Monday in person. And can I do that? And that was like, I don't know. But I said yes. And last night was the last night. And I think I was the only one out of 8 or so women that attended every single night. And I got so much out of it. Not to mention that my business has really blossomed. It really has, as far as me getting out there, saying yes to getting up my table twice this week, and a talk on Saturday that I'm giving for 25 women. And there's just keeps coming different talks and different opportunities because I keep saying yes. And it's really, truly amazing. So and I'm also onboarding new clients, which really is, that is the whole reason why I'm doing what I'm doing, is because I want to be able to help more and more people get healthy. And I said yes to Bree and Sam, and last Friday I got to be on their fasting podcast. And so that was fun. We had a good time. That was my first time on that podcast. And so hope to come back and have more talk. But so just saying yes and trying to follow what God is putting in front of me, and realizing that these are the things he wants me to do, and just keep stepping forward. So that's basically in a nutshell.
I love that. God has you in a whole season of yes. And that's really fun. That's a really fun place to be stepping out and doing those things with God, and he's showing up. I love it.
Yeah. So I mean, like not to get political, but we were very much entrenched in helping certain people get elected in our area. And once the election was over, I heard God say, it's time for you to work on your business. And so it's go time is what I heard. So that's what I've been trying to be obedient in. And I know I talked about it on Leigh Ann Leigh Ann and I talked last week on our podcast too, is that I started a liver cleanse, and it was put together by the people. There's 14 of us that put it together from my class, and that just started. And I didn't really have time to do much marketing, but I have 4 people, and I have other people that are interested in joining it also. So it's I'm glad to see people are going to start creating healthier lives, learning to eat real food.
Very exciting.
That is
How
exciting.
about you, Julie?
Change.
Yeah, thank
I
you.
love it.
I know, I love it. Oh my gosh. Heavy. It's been a little heavy starting these 12-week programs because it's so unbelievable that going from retreats to creating a 12-week program that, like you and like all of you, just saying yes. And, like, okay, if you can let up on this mess in my stomach of feeling like I'm supposed to do something, I'm going to do it, but I need you to do it. And so I wanted 5 people in the first cohort. I've got 5 girls, 5 mamas. But there's not like that feeling of it's great, it's amazing. I mean and I've have good feedback, but I just feel like there's more, and I'm really, like it's so much and it's so heavy, the conversations that we talk about. And so I really battle with, is it enough? Is it not enough? Am I giving them too much? Am I not giving them enough? Do I need to do more? So it's just different than I ever thought it would be. But that's where we are. We're fixed to start a program called the War Room, is what we're kicking up this week. And the War Room is basically where we meet every week, and we either do some kind of prayer or somatic practice or parts work or body work. And yeah, we just surrender what we're doing and how we're doing it to Jesus, because every day is hard when you lose a child. And so this is something that I feel like will give them kind of a safe space to come to just, kind of let it all go. So anyway, I'm just blown away by the things that are happening with this program, and I have no idea what to expect because it's so far beyond my belief already, you know? And so I think I struggle a lot with, am I on the right track? And so I live a lot right here and today, just saying, okay, if I'm going to do what I need to do today, and if it needs to look different, you're going to have to tell me because I have no clue. So there's no plan for the future. I can't worry about it, Brie, because I don't even know what it's going to be like. Um, it's more so that thing of, am I crazy? Like, are you crazy? Or what in the world are you doing? Or how am I going to do what you're wanting me to do? So there's a lot of those questions. But anyway, it's happening.
So back up just a second for our listeners and explain what it is that you're doing, because I know you just launched this recently.
Yes. So I just launched a 12-week program, basically a grief coaching program for moms who have lost a child. And we go through 12 weeks, and it's basically the first part of the session is surrender. And so we talk about surrendering all of the thoughts and the things that you have to deal with to Jesus, but we also connect that with the body. So it gives them something more tangible. And so we connect grief and the body together so that you not only are you experiencing what you're feeling, but we give the body time to kind of rest the nervous system and to see what a calming effect could be around learning what trauma is and what it does to the body. And so it kind of makes you feel validated. And to understand that the way you feel is not your fault, and that yes, it is associated with child loss. It also connects so many other dots because it allows you to see that what you've been going through is really, it is real, you know. So that's the first part is surrender. The next part is refine. And we basically take everything that you've surrendered and we refine it back in the name of Jesus. And we just ask that, that He rebuild your life the way that He wants it to be. Like you've got a clean start. And so if we surrender the things that we can't control, then how can we redefine, us and what we can control? And what does that look like? What are our dreams? What are our goals? What are our new likes? How do we become a new person now? And then we rebuild it. And we rebuild it in Jesus's name. And we just ask that He lead us and guide us through it. And through all of these phases, we talk about learning how to calm our nervous system, whether it's through different tools, somatic tools like microneedling or the microneedling pads, or if it's through different exercises or stretches. Or even things like just laying on your belly, just giving yourself or taking a long shower, meditation. And everything I do is 100% Jesus. And so we meditate on, Jesus or His word or how we are today versus how we want to go. So that's the program.
Awesome. And so you're halfway through that with your first group of ladies.
We're almost well, we're probably quarter of the way.
Quarter of the way. Okay. Awesome.
Nice.
That's really exciting.
Yeah, it's exciting. It feels good to be able to share what I'm actually doing rather than working on for one time too. It's like seeing that little journey to come through to finally be able to say, okay, after all this time.
Exactly. And I think some of it is this like I don't know. I was talking about how it was kind of like overwhelming the idea of like doing all this stuff. And God keeps reminding me, like, you're not doing it, I'm doing it. You just submit to me. So I like what you're saying about just submitting daily to His plans, because I do that every single day. God, what is on the agenda for today? Because I don't know what His plans are unless I ask Him, because I get caught up in my own plans real easily. But then I don't always do what it is He wants me to do that day. And so yeah, it's just a daily surrendering, my plans for the day to Him and just asking for His peace in it, because I'll get caught up because He'll say, I want you to do this, this, and this. And I'll be like, oh man, that seems like a lot. Or that doesn't seem like enough. What about all these other things that need done, And He just always has to remind me that it will all get done at the right time, because He says, I'm in charge of time. And I was like, oh yeah, He's in charge of the time. He's outside of time. He can see everything all at once. I can't see that. I need to stop stressing about it and just leave it in His hands. So that has been a huge lesson for me in all of this transitioning, is to just that daily surrender of what His plans are. Because some days I'll do more than I thought possible, and other days He'll have me do way less because He knows that I need to rest and I didn't even realize it,
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, I love that. I love that you're doing that and you're just taking it one day at a time.
One day at a time. One day. I'm trying to be more compassionate too with myself. I was thinking the other day, I was like, I don't even think I'm needed. There's too many other people out there like me doing this. There's no need me being here. Heck, why would they want to listen to me? And then this came to mind. If there was only one preacher in the world, if there was only 5 preachers in the world, but there's not. There's tons of them because I get to choose which one I want to listen to, which one, I like. So I don't know. That was really cool to see that, just to kind of get that visual of, there's not another you. And yeah, that was cool. Yeah, we're all just making it, right, Leigh Ann? You're doing amazing things too.
Well, right now I'm just trying to heal. This last week, God Well, I shouldn't say God did it, but I've had to rest. I've had to take some time off from working and allow my body to rest, and it's been a struggle. But this is what's been really interesting. I have prayed since I started Rebirth for whatever I do with Rebirth for it to be to the glory of God. And I really wanted the company to be represented as a faith-based Christian company. We don't play around with the idea that we are pro-life. We are all of our um, uh, donations that we do go to pro-life companies, such as, our local pregnancy centers, and but they have to be vetted. They're Christian non-abortive pregnancy centers, and so that's always been my prayer, is that we are glorifying God in everything that we do. Well, my Bible study at church is led by the pastor's wife, and she has been preaching a message lately, or teaching, I should say, a message lately about we limit God, we put him in a box. We don't pray big enough. We need to pray bigger. Don't be afraid to pray for big. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to pray big. And I went after this big grocery store chain in the Midwest, and they brought me through all of the process steps to get on their shelves. And yesterday I got an email from them after sending them $1,500 worth of sample, or not samples, but full-size inventory of that said that the product was saturated, or they were going to reject my application due to limited shelf space and saturation of the product category. And when I read the email, I was like, man, like, why would they have me send all this product to them if that was going to be their response to begin with? And so I decided to sleep on it, but I went outside on our back patio to just sit with God for a while, because the one thing I do practice, but not enough, is just trying to hear God's voice. And Bree, I am always trying not to be envious of your ability to hear God's voice, because I don't have that ability yet. And I just want to hear it so clearly. But what did come to me yesterday was, in the last 2 weeks, I have seen on 4 different occasions my own Bible reading, through my church, my pastor's sermon last Sunday, um, a, an Instagram post, and then a different pastor whose email that I got this morning. All 4 of these incidences were on the story of Gideon in the book of Judges, where God continues to take Israelites away from Gideon, because he says, if you go in with this many people, then Israel will think that they won this battle and that I didn't win it for them. So Gideon ends up going into battle with 300 people fighting tens of thousands, and wins, versus having his 30,000 warriors. And so for me, the message that I feel like God is trying to give me is, you, you want, or I am, going after this big store and not giving God the opportunity to show me what I can do with smaller numbers, with smaller, I don't really know how to put this in words, but basically I see God in the middle of this, as I am Gideon right now, and I just need to be faithful and let God do this work for me. Not that I need to stop doing the work, but I need to focus more on the smaller Christian businesses that I was focused on, getting into wholesale accounts that way. And I have 3 really large events coming up in a month in June, and 2 of them are on the same day. And I'm actually out of town during those 2 events at a different event. So I'm having to prepare for that in total faith, true blind faith, because I'm not going to have control. Um, so where God is in the middle of that is me just being open to, okay, oh, so this is what the point I was trying to get to. Tyler is the guy, he's our family guy that worries so much about the future, right? And so our, we're pulling off of our income right now is coming from different places, but part of that is coming from our business loan. And so he's like, oh my gosh, I got to find a job. you got to look for a job. And God just keeps telling me, and he's been telling me this for a long time, be patient, be patient. And I'm like, am I supposed to wait until my bank account gets to $300 to see God just explode everything in my business? Like that's this 300 soldiers thing is just in my mind. And I am just really struggling to be patient and let God stay in the center of it and not try to rule and have my hand in it because everything in me tells me that I am still doing God's work. It just has to glorify him. And I guess Natural Grocers wasn't going to glorify him because they turned me down. And that was what I woke up to this morning realizing was it wasn't going to glorify God, so it's not part of the plan. So I guess for me, I'm just really learning how to be patient and trust God, even when it's super scary. And right now it's real scary. So that's what's going on over here.
I love that, Leigh Ann, because God has been doing the same thing in our lives, like realigning, um, like business, I don't know, alignments and stuff, and closing doors on certain things and removing things, and he just keeps reminding us that there are just certain things that he can't bless for whatever reason, because they're not part of his plan, they're not glorifying him. For whatever reason, he wants to bless us through something else. And so he's realigning us and opening new doors for different things. And so that he wants us to walk through because that's where he wants to bless us through that. So I think that's really interesting that he's got you on the same path, that he is closing certain doors and opening other ones and saying, okay, this is the way, walk through it. I know you can't see what I'm doing now, but you will be able to see.
Yep.
So I love that. He does that with all of us. Like we just have to have that blind faith and trust in him that he's going to take care of us no matter what.
Yeah. And on a personal note, God has shown up in that I was invited to join the women's ministry leadership team at my church, which when we moved down here, my biggest desire and dream was to be a big part of our church, to find a church that I loved and be involved. And so that was huge. That was an answered prayer.
Nice.
That is amazing. Aw.
Yeah, that's good.
I want to read a prayer that I had pulled from somewhere and I've changed it a little bit, but I think it encompasses what all is going on and us. Okay. Father in heaven, I pray for open doors for my business and for my life. Father, would you give me divine appointments with people who would come alongside my business and my life to help it to prosper? Father, I pray that you would also shut doors to my business and in my life that you do not want me to walk through. Make it obvious for me the paths that I am to take, Father, and help me to be brave enough to walk through those open doors, even when I'm scared. Let me always remember, Father, that you are a good gift giver. And let me remember also, Father, that open doors may put me out of my comfort zone, but you will never leave me nor forsake me.
Will you put that in our
Amen.
group chat?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've been praying that for a few years, and I'm finally seeing it come around. I mean, I have seen it with us, but even with the group of women that I've been with, for the last 14 weeks, I'm like, just
That's awesome.
Amazing.
God is faithful.
Yes.
Well, that's what's going on with us. What's going on with you guys? We know that we've been putting some really heavy stuff out with our guests, and so we thought we'd kind of give you a little lighter podcast to see what was going on with us, but we'd love to hear what's going on with you too. Let us know in the comment section below. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share this podcast with everyone you know and love. We will see you next time. Bye, everybody.